everyone. Welcome back to Asknikkip. I'm going to jump into today's question, and that's that. Let's do it. Hey, Nikki, I am 14 years old, and I've been liking this guy for 5 months, and I was recently majorly friend-zoned, and the worst part is that he has a major crush on one of my best friends. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I have been liking this guy for 5 months, and I was recently friend-zoned. Okay, so that guy basically said he likes you as a friend, but he likes your best friend. I think that's what you're saying. I am not mad at anyone, but I feel like I am not good enough. This is my first crush, and my only other friend is moving away this summer, and I'm scared that I will be alone after she leaves. I am falling into a depression where I've never been. I know this will be a small fraction of my life, but I am still hurting, and I've considered cutting and becoming anorexic. Thanks. Okay, there was a lot in that email. Let me just tell you, first off, if you are listening, let me just tell you, this doesn't feel like this, but I'm going to be really blunt. You are 14 years old. This is just like you said, and you know this because you said it in the email. This is an extremely small part of your life. Life is much longer than you realize. I mean, it's very short too, and I think people, when you get to the end, it's like, whoa, where did it go? But it's also a lot longer than you realize, and this is a very small season in your life. So let me just start by saying, please do not do anything drastic, because both cutting and being anorexic literally does nothing to solve the problem, and it's literally only going to make things worse. It's an extremely dramatic response for something that I think actually, depending on how you see it, can be very exciting. So let me back up to the guy thing. The first thing is, I think sometimes, because really life is all about how you view it and like the glasses you put on and see things. First off, I feel like when we're dating, all of us see things as like, is anyone going to like me? Like, is anyone going to want me? It's more about like getting other people to like us. But what I firmly believe, guys, and I like firmly believe this, is that there is someone out there for everyone. And I've said this before, I think in Asknikkip videos, I used to have this really huge fear of Dan dying. And obviously, if Dan dies, I would be devastated. I would probably drop off the internet for a little while, just so you know. I'd be devastated. But I realized in the last few years that, like, I could get along with a lot of people. And love, in my opinion, is a choice. Sorry, I know I go on tangents, but everything will come full circle. Or maybe not. Love is a choice. And I've realized that, like, I don't think, personally, that there's just a magic, like, oh, is anyone going to like me? Or like, this is my soulmate. I think that you meet people, you get along with them, you find people who share similar values to you, and you don't want to be with someone who doesn't really like you. And it's not from a perspective of like, oh, if they don't like you, you don't want to be with them. It's just like, oh, they're just not the right person. Because there is someone out there, and guaranteed there's probably a list of someones who would find you like incredible. And I wish you could understand how much I don't mean that as mom mode. Like, someone out there will find you incredible. Like I really, really mean that there are many people I think people could be paired with. And it's very much like, what kind of life do you want to live? You know, love is a choice because emotion fades and people get old and people get fugly and people lose limbs and people, you know, it's a choice when life gets hard. So I don't want you to feel like not good enough because some 15-year-old kid didn't want to be with you and liked your best friend. It like really, I'm not invalidating you, but it is really not a big deal. What I would say for you is to really speak to yourself like truth first off, that like it doesn't matter, because that's not like propaganda, like mom propaganda, like it doesn't matter, you're great. It really is okay. It really doesn't matter in the scheme of life. So tell yourself that, choose to be in that mindset. And rather than looking to a guy, sorry, more texts are coming in. Sorry, it really doesn't matter. You need to tell yourself that. And then rather than looking to a guy to fill this hole that your best friend has filled, which, by the way, no one person should be there to like fill a hole anyways. Like, it shouldn't be, oh, my best friend completes me and now they're leaving and now I'm depressed. You should look at it as like, all right, your friend is leaving. Well, now there are all these other super interesting people on the planet and in your town that you can get to know and find interests and like get to know them, and it's exciting, and really find what you love to do. When people depend on other people for like being their source of like happiness and encouragement and this and that, and they don't find their passion and what they love to do, it's not good, because your emotions become more dictated by other people, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like this whole thing has been super blabbery, but the point of what I'm trying to say is do not do anything drastic. You will be okay. I promise you. I'm not saying it as mom propaganda. And focus on what you like. And I know that sounds extremely overwhelming, but it's basic. It's like start on the internet. Like, do you like crafting? Do you like DIY stuff? Is there a local class you could join? You know, I'm still getting texts on my computer. I really need to like turn these off. And don't think of it as like, I have to find my passion. It's just like, what do you want to do? Start pursuing some stuff. Do you want to join a fashion class? Do you want to join like I always say a pet club. I don't know if that exists. Some type of pet thing. Join there. Just start finding the things that interest you as a person rather than relying on other people to take care of you. Does that make sense? So, like I said, I know this was long, and everybody, if you have an opinion that's different than mine or something to add to the pot, maybe you kind of get the drift of what I'm saying, but I didn't maybe convey it clear enough, feel free to comment down below. I just want you guys to really know that like there is someone out there for everyone, and you don't have to run to it. And yeah, that's that. And last tangent note, get involved in the things that you like. So if it's internet stuff, even still, like I'm a kind of good example of this. Like, yeah, I work on the internet, but I've also made sure to meet those people in real life. I'm involved in it in real life too. So like, if you're into fashion, make that a social thing. So let's say you just decided you're like, I really like sketching fashion stuff. And you could, in theory, take it all online, and that's a really great place to start. But then also find a place in real life. Is there a fashion club at school? Is there like a fashion class you could take at like your local community college doing like concurrent enrollment? Because most community colleges let you enroll as a high schooler. Are there clubs in the community you could join? Make that into a social thing as well. And you will be fine. Look at it as exciting, because it is exciting. And my very last thing is if it's really getting dark and it's really that serious, go to someone in your real life that you trust, that you know is like an adult who can help you, whether it's a school counselor or your parents. It's a good way to go. Or someone at your church. If you're not involved in a church, getting plugged into a church is good. And yeah, that was very long, but you will be okay. So now I'm going to answer the Twitter question. It says, how do you deal with other people who are extremely pushy about their personal opinions? Well, we all seem to be I think all of us have a little bit of a pushy side to us, first off, about our personal opinions, because we hold them dear to our heart. That's how we operate. We see that as truth, and then we operate our life like that. I think if you're asking me personally how I deal with it, or if you're just asking like in general, like how does someone deal with it? Me personally, I just try to like, I don't know, tell people, like, be like, yeah, that's cool, because I don't know everything. So I kind of like eat the fish and spit out the bones. When people are telling me things, it's like, I do try to take, if there's like bits of like wisdom and interesting knowledge in there, I take it, and I'm like, that's really applicable to me. And if it's not, it's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't really push back with mine too much. I think maybe sometimes I do because I'm a yapper, but it's just kind of like, okay, that's your thing. And, I guess, how would the general population deal with pushy opinions? I guess that's different for everyone. Let me know in the comments how you guys deal with it. But I would kind of say the same thing to you if you're like asking for advice on how to deal with it, is let people have their opinions. That's totally okay. People can have different opinions, and the more open you are to like, hey, you're allowed to have your opinion, I'm allowed to have my opinion, actually the easier it gets to handle like people who are pushy. And pushy people tend to be less pushy when you're like, yeah, you're allowed to have your opinion. Like, that's cool. I still like you. They tend to like not feel so defensive and pushy, as all of us, I think, do. The more welcoming and accepting people are, the less pushy you tend to feel. So these have been some long episodes today. I'm in a talking, chatty, caffeine mood. So I will see you all very soon. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Send your messages to asknikkip@gmail.com, and I'll see you soon. Adios, amigos.